getting closer, folks. The box has been opened. Oh my gosh, here it is. Here it is, folks. This is it. Computer I've been waiting 13 years to get. I'm about to lift it out right now, folks. Plastic off of it. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm still recording the unboxing video, by the way, but guys, I would like you to meet an old friend of mine. Yeah, very funny, Matthew. This is the Packard Bell Legend 822 CDT in the flesh. This is it, folks. This is it.
Zero. That is amazing. Definitely.
I just don't know what to say, folks. I mean, it all started right here, folks. Back in 1995, my life was changed forever. I mean, I wouldn't have a computer business without this computer. I never would have met so many friends without this computer. I never would have. This computer really did change my life, folks. And I'm just speechless. That's all I can say. Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and welcome to another very special video. What you just saw was recorded 10 years ago today, at the time of this video's publishing. That was April 29th, 2013. And that was a day that I will never forget, because as you saw, that was the day I was finally reunited with my childhood computer, the Packard Bell Legend 822 CDT, after 8 years of searching. And I'd kind of like to recollect on that search. You see, and I've told this story before, early 2005 was when the 90s nostalgia bug hit me. And it hit me like a brick wall. I was getting into everything. That was when I found my 1994 Rugrats Marathon VHS tape. That was when I first started being obsessed with Carolina Circle Mall. That was the year it was demolished. And I was getting into old TV shows from when I was a kid, all the old commercials, mostly thanks to that aforementioned Rugrats Marathon tape. But I've gone into detail about all that, but also at that same time I was getting into vintage computing, especially computers from around 1995 or so, that special era. And I decided that, you know what, I don't have an old computer anymore to play these old DOS 3.195 games, because at the time all I had were XP computers. So I decided to start searching eBay for vintage computers, particularly one that would run Windows 95. And what was nice was back in 2005, it was very, very easy to get one because I was about the only one that was interested in it. So old computers were worthless then. So I didn't have to worry about paying a whole bunch of money like you have to nowadays on eBay. Ugh. But I digress. And then eventually, as I was looking, I decided, you know what? I need to make this proper. My first computer was a Packard Bell. So if I'm going to get an old Windows 95 computer, it's going to have to be a Packard Bell. And so in late March of 2005, I purchased my first vintage computer, the Packard Bell Legend 1510 Supreme, which has been a staple on the channel for many years. And it was identical in almost every way to the childhood Packard Bell, except it was a desktop form factor. That was the big difference there. But internally, it was roughly the same computer, but I wasn't quite satisfied yet. I wanted to find the very original computer. And so around the end of 2006, that was when I really started getting serious about finding this computer. And so thankfully, the original 822, which by the way was given away to my dad's friend back in the year 2000, and there's no way I can get it back now. But we had kept the box it had come in to keep Christmas decorations in. And so what my mom did was she cut off the spec sticker that was on the box it came in. And I've still got it to this day. I keep it next to the current 822. And so what I would do was my dad would drive me around computer shops around town asking if they had this particular computer, and obviously no one didn't. But yeah, it took a long time to find it, and I got close a few times. 2010, I found a mini tower Packard Bell that looked similar to this at Value Village. It was a Packard Bell Multimedia S606. Got even closer a couple months later in November of 2010 when I found the Packard Bell Legend 3550, a computer that only lasted a couple of months before it died. I was very heartbroken about that, and I still am. I wouldn't mind finding another 3550, but internally and externally it was almost identical to this computer. It was a little bit newer. Hard drive, the original hard drive wasn't quite as big, but other than that, it was the same computer. And so for the next few years, I kept looking. Didn't have hardly any luck at all. Packard Bells came and went. But eventually, the year 2013 came, and for a couple of years, I'd already been running the Packard Bell Planet Facebook group, full of people not only obsessed with Packard Bells like me, but vintage computing in general. And a really good friend of mine named Ian Dew. He was the same person who sold me the corner Packard Bell. He came across a Packard Bell Legend 822 CDT. And everyone, all of my friends, were just way too generous. They took up a pool, and they managed to make enough money to buy that 822 and send it to me. And so on April 30th, 2013, I finally unboxed this particular Packard Bell Legend 822 CDT. Finally reunited with my childhood computer after 13 years. Now, I know, it's not the very original childhood one, but it is exactly identical in every way to it. And so I just pretend that it is my childhood computer, just because it's, you know what, it's close enough. And I have a funny story to share. You may recall this from that video from 10 years ago. But the day I got this 822, I was hooking some stuff up on it on the desk I was putting it on at the time. And I had it sitting a little too close to the edge, and it came crashing down onto my bedroom floor. And what it landed on was a old HP power supply from a late 90s HP Pavilion. I don't know why it was sitting there. I was a bit of a sloppy person back then, still kind of am. But that's what it landed on, and boy, was I terrified. I was absolutely terrified. I've been looking for this computer for 8 years. Finally got it, and then I destroy it. So I hurriedly picked it up, hooked it up, and it still ran great. It still runs great to this day. The only damage it sustained from the power supply was just a couple of little nicks right here, which are still here to this day. Barely even notice them. The power supply, on the other hand, as you can see in this picture, it was pulverized. It was destroyed. It no longer exists. What wound up being one of the scariest moments ever wound up being one of the funniest and most memorable moments ever. And I remember my friend Jay Wakefield, the Flying Scotsman, was doing a show on Rockin' Waves 11294 that evening, and it just cracked him up. And here's what he had to say about it, and from the recording from 10 years ago today.
We were all kind of on Skype, during the live feed, and Billy made the most weird sound ever. It sounded like some sort of bird being introduced to the inner workings of a Jeep. And it's like, I've just done the most horrible thing you could think of. I've dropped the Packard Bell off of the desk. My goodness. I nearly started greeting. Oh my goodness, it was... My heart sank. But I'll tell you what it did. Only knocked a wee chip out off of the case. Total damage to the Packard Bell. The machine works. The Hewlett-Packard power supply that it fell on, however, didn't fare so well. It basically is totaled. That thing is totaled. It's a cut-see write-off. It's gone. It's an X power supply. It's away. And the best thing about that power supply, it dropped on a power supply. It dropped on an HP power supply. The power supply... Okay. The power supply. The Packard Bell. The Packard Bell dropped. The legend. The Packard Bell legend. Okay, the Packard Bell legend 822. It fell on a power supply. It fell on a power supply from an HP computer almost identical to the one that replaced Billy's original Packard Bell in 1999. Total sum of damage to the Packard Bell, a tiny wee neck off of the case. Barely noticeable, just a wee neck. If Billy found a piece, we'd probably fix it with a wee bit of super glue. There we go. The total sum of damage to the power supply. It's gone. It's an X power supply. It's away. 822 finally had its revenge. Oh, are you okay?
And so for the past 10 years, I've had a lot of fun with this computer. This has been my flagship Packard Bell for obvious reasons. Since then, I've managed to not really change it that much. The only two major upgrades this computer's seen, well, three, I guess. I changed the CD-ROM drive out for a 52-speed Sony drive. The hard drive has been replaced with a compact flash adapter, allowing me to run the original copy of Windows 95 and live my dream of finally running Windows 3.1 on it, which I wanted to do when I was a little kid. And I also added a network card to it, a 3Com network card, just to have server access and to browse the old net. One thing I'm really proud of that I've been able to do with this computer is kind of recreate the exact setup we had when I was a kid with our original 822. The desk was long gone, obviously, but my dad had managed to keep this piece right here that the actual computer sat on, but the desk right here was long gone. But one day I was walking through the Greensboro Value Village back in 2016, and for just a few dollars they were selling this desk, and this was the exact model desk that this computer was on. And so I bought it and matched it up with this piece right here, and it is just like a time capsule now, and that's the way I intend to keep it. And I guess the other big major thing that's happened to this computer is that it moved with me up here to Kernersville when I got married back in 2020, and it's been in this same spot ever since. Get a closer look of the battle station, I guess you could say. One addition I've recently made, back in 1997, my parents and I visited Carolina Circle Mall. This was actually New Year's Day 1997, and my dad and I went into a photo booth there at the mall and had these three pictures taken. And my dad brought them home and taped them to the side of the monitor on the Packard Bell. And recently I was over at my parents' house and found this picture, and I brought it here and taped it to this monitor, and it looks just like it did back in the day. So I'm very proud of that. And of course the computer itself, still looking good. I did do a retro bright treatment to it back in 2020. It was starting to get a little bit yellowed, but the retro brighting did help it, and it's still looking good if you ask me. One thing that about the original 822 from when I was a kid was, for some reason, I decided one day to peel off the Intel Pentium Inside sticker. And I've debated whether or not to make it more like the original and peel this sticker back off, but I think it's going to stay. And we've got of course, a Packard Bell mouse and a Best Buy mouse pad, because our original came from Best Buy and it came with this Best Buy mouse pad. Found this not long after I got this computer in 2013. Found this on eBay, bought it, and I've used it with this computer ever since. And the Packard Bell keyboard I use with it, with the Carolina Circle Mall key that Elmall 3 had made for me back in 2013. It's still there, and it will stay there as well. Whew. Okay, so another reason I wanted to make this video was not just for the 10-year anniversary, but this is almost kind of going to be a memorial video. Because you see, in November of 2021, my dad passed away from cancer. And I really, really miss him. He was the one that bought the Packard Bell Legend 822 CDT originally. He used it just about as much as I did. And he loved a game on it. I remember he was always playing games on it or browsing America Online. And some of my fondest memories growing up with my dad was bonding over our Packard Bell. And so, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and turn the computer on. And we're going to play two games. The two games that my dad loved more than any of them. Those games being Firefight and Earthworm Jim. And this is for you, my dad. Still need to either replace the power supply or just the power supply fan. It's still making that rattling noise. I'll get that taken care of when I feel like it. Log on to the network. Okay, we're going to start off with Earthworm Jim. One that my dad and I absolutely love playing together. He bought this in the spring of 1996 from Sam's Club.
Groovy!
And I'd love to find the original box for this game someday. And we're going to go to my dad's favorite level. Big Broody. It will do that sometimes. I've had many computers just freeze at loading an Earthworm Jim level. I don't know why it does that. Okay, a simple Windows reboot took care of that.
Cheater! Groovy!
I have a video of my dad and I playing this back on June 17th of 1996. It was the day we got our first VHS-C base camcorder, and we were playing with it.
Ow! Yippee! Oh yeah!
There's our old pal Broody. I still remember when I was a kid, I thought that Big Broody was a giant frog. But then years later, when I grew up, I realized he was actually a dinosaur. Oh yeah, the little Broodies.
Hmm? Oh yeah. Yippee! Yippee! Hmm?
Just the total ridiculousness of this level is hilarious to me, and I love it. Come on. There you go.
Groovy! 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 Ow!
Monitor for this computer I bought back in 2021 off of eBay, and thankfully it made it here in one piece. You never know about buying CRTs off eBay, but that was one of the good ones.
Groovy!
These bees are more annoying than Big Broody himself.
Oh yeah. Hmm? Hmm? Groovy! 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 Groovy!
Almost at the end.
Oh yeah.
And we just gotta do this.
Hmm?
Rooty, have you been eating worms again? Time to play my dad's other favorite game, Firefight. This is a game we originally played as a shareware demo from the AOL Games channel, and he liked it so much he went over to CompUSA and bought the full version. I don't need DirectX, already got it on here. Set it to joystick. My joystick of choice for this computer is always the Sidewinder 3D Pro. There's also a network multiplayer mode on this game I've never actually tried before.
Electronic Arts, Epic Mega Games, Chaos Works, Firefight.
And we'll head on to level number 1. With the right compatibility settings, this game will actually run beautifully on Windows XP. If anyone wants to give it a try on there, I have.
Okay, then destroy the first two communication sections.
cheater.
Yeah, this game usually
You have found a
runs
secret place.
a little better on
Plasma
a
gun,
more powerful
missiles.
computer, but this is how I remember it performing, so this is normal to me. Not the best, but I like it.
First attack got some attention. Air defense has increased, but nothing we can't handle.
Just a reminder, this is a Pentium 100. Originally 16 megs of RAM, it's been upgraded to 32. I think the original owner did that.
You have found a secret place.
I remember there was one level in this game. I can't remember the name of it because I haven't played it in years, but it was this level where you have to chase the spaceship. And it was so annoying. It took us like a couple of months to get past that level. And one night I had gone to bed, get ready to fall asleep. I was about 7 years old. My dad came running into the bedroom and tell me to come here. He was so excited. He brought me in there to the computer. He had finally beaten the level. He was just so thrilled about that. I'll never forget that.
Entire air and ground defense has been destroyed. Mission complete.
There's one more level. And this one's an interesting one because there's an old friend of mine here who used to be an enemy. And you will meet him momentarily.
Let's collect all 19 containers. First is located near your start position. Continue the search for the rest of the containers. Find the most structures may be necessary in the location.
Beaming up
Use
successful.
reinforcements if you encounter any resistance.
We have to pick these containers up.
Beaming up successful. Beaming up successful. Incoming missile. Beaming up successful. Incoming missile. Incoming missile. Beaming up successful. 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 Beaming up successful.
The computer that replaced this one in 1999, which was an HP Pavilion, it was a nice computer. It was nothing like this one. You never forget your first computer. I actually had a dream about CompUSA the other night,
Incoming missile. Beaming up interrupted.
which this computer did not come from. It came from Best Buy, but
Beaming up
we bought
successful.
so much stuff for this computer from there.
Beaming up successful. Beaming up successful. Plasma gun activated. Swarmers activated. Incoming missile. Beaming up successful. Beaming up interrupted.
Gotta learn to have more patience.
Beaming up successful. Beaming up successful.
Hey Jensen, I've got reports from a large ship in the air prepped for attack. Watch yourself for the broadcaster.
Okay, we're fixing to meet my old friend down here. And for those of you who have watched my videos before, you probably already know what this is going to be. But it's coming up right about now. Oh yeah, that's the Farcaster. And don't ask me why, because I can't give you an answer because I don't know. But for some reason, when I was a little kid, I was terrified of that thing. I thought it was the scariest looking thing that you could ever see on a computer screen. But then the internet came along and I found a lot scarier stuff than that. Anyway. There we go, Farcaster.
Large ship in range.
Oh yeah, the large ship. That scared me too, but not as much as the Farcaster. I was a very strange child.
First one's down. Head to the next site and mind those guard towers.
Incoming missile.
where those suckers glow. Too bad. I had a couple friends in the area.
Mission complete.
It's a tradition. We have to show this in one of these videos. Packard Bell Navigator.
Welcome from Packard Bell. We offer you two computing environments to choose from, Packard Bell's Navigator or Microsoft Windows. You may also begin by taking a quick lesson on using the mouse.
You know, this year will be the 15th anniversary of my first mouse lesson joke. The whole concept's a joke. Wow. I even managed to get the system credentials for this computer. Now, this computer didn't have its original hard drive when I got it, so I wasn't able to get them. But someone in my Packard Bell Planet Facebook group also had a Packard Bell 822 with the exact same serial number and the exact same manufacturing date. And so he uploaded his master boot record and I copied it over to here. And so we have pretty accurate system credentials now. If you want to emulate a 822 at some point or have an 822, there's your format number, 556013. Originally had a 1.2 gig hard drive, some kind of Seagate drive, and it was tested September 28th, 1995. Wish I knew the manufacturing date of the original 822, but those documents are long, long gone, I'm sad to say. Actually, let's just look at the map. Yeah. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, thanks to adding a expansion slot mounted CF card adapter back in 2014, I was finally able to realize my childhood dream of running Windows for Workgroups 3.11 on the Legend 822 CDT. And there were 822s that came with 3.1, so this would be an accurate setup for someone. The reason I wanted 3.1 on my on our Packard Bell was because my aunt had it on her Gateway 2000, and I was just fascinated by it. And I asked my dad if we could upgrade 95 to 3.1, but obviously we did not do that. But finally, as an adult, I got to see what that would have been like. Kind of a alternate universe thing. Actually just did this restore on here yesterday. And we'll do a DOS game, how about that? Let's see. And we'll do Zargon with all its crazy sound effects. And we'll configure it to use the joystick. I've always considered this the male equivalent to Jewel of the Jungle. I'm already about to die. To be fair, I haven't played this game in a while. And we're dead already. Oh, spikes, that's what was hurting me. Well, there you have it. Can't believe it's been 10 years of having this computer, and it's still running like a champ. I think the only maintenance it probably really needs is just to do something about that power supply fan rattling, but hey, you know what? That's not the end of the world. This computer is one of those rock-solid vintage computers that I can always count on working. Never had any major issues with it. It just works. And I can always depend on it if I just need to do something in a hurry, vintage computer related. So, again, this was a video also in remembrance of my late father. May he rest in peace. I remember we were playing Firefight earlier. He always wanted them to release Firefight 2, but unfortunately that never happened. Hey, maybe someday. Maybe someday. Well, I hope you enjoyed this special video. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You may also support me on Patreon if you would like. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.